Introduced question.
Yeah, this is in relation to the dedicated mortgage advisors which have been allocated to MABs to assist people who are struggling with debt, particularly in relation to their family homes. I just want to know the status of that programme, where it's at the moment, how many people have been allocated and what sort of contracts have they got.
Ministers, 2 minutes.
Thanks a million, Deputy, for raising this particular service, because I think it's particularly good to be able to put the status of the service on the record of the House. The Dedicated Mortgage Arrears Advice Service, which operates across our MABs network, was established in 2015 as the then government's response to providing support to the many, unfortunately, hundreds of thousands of mortgage holders who were in arrears back then. The DMA service aims to ensure that borrowers in mortgage arrears have access to information, the range of supports and options that are available to them, when required to negotiate with lenders on their behalf. And the DMA service operates across our entire MABs network with a team of 27 advisors, 5 relief advisors and our support staff. And to date it has helped in excess of 6,000 borrowers with mortgage arrears issues. Since its inception, the DMA service has become an integral part of the Abhaile service, which provides access for people who are insolvent or in mortgage arrears to independent financial and/or legal advice and assistance under our voucher scheme that's operated and accessed through MABs. And I'm acutely aware of the good work that are being done by the Dedicated Mortgage Arrears Services, and I'm determined that the service will continue in line with other services provided under Abhaile, which are set to run until 2019. And if we find ourselves, Deputy, at the end of next year with people still in need, I very much hope that I could gather and garner your support to continue the services into the future if this government is still in situ. And it's for that reason that we secured the money for next year. The overall allocation of the budget is £2.5 million, and it's going to cost, and that will provide the cost of the services to the end of next year. But I think we should have maybe a conversation closer to the middle and Q3 next year, so we can appraise the amount of people that are still left with unresolved mortgage issues. Just to also say that it's a joint remit, obviously, between myself and the Department of Justice and Equality. Chair.
I appreciate the work that the advisors are doing. They're doing tremendous work, and I compliment them on that. But there does seem to be a difficulty here, in the sense that the Minister states that £2.5 million has been allocated. I presume that means that £2.5 million has been given to the CIB to pay the mortgage advisors. But their contracts have only been extended until the 15th of February. That's my understanding. Their contracts have only been extended to the 15th of February, even though the £2.5 million covers them for the full year. So, you know, that has resulted in a situation, I'm informed, where they've decided not to take on any new clients from the 1st of January, because obviously their own position is uncertain. Their contract ends on the 15th of February. And the Minister will be aware that as property values increase and as vulture funds purchase more domestic loans, unfortunately, the pressure for repossessions is going to increase. So I think MABs has a vital role to play there. So, you know, we can't be left in a situation whereby mortgage advisors, because they're uncertain about their own status, are not willing to take on new clients as and from the 1st of January. I hardly need to remind the Minister or the House about recent events in Roscommon.
Minister, 1 minute.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. Deputy, you're right that the current contract runs out on the 15th of January, but the service are well aware that I am bringing a report on Abhaile to Cabinet the first week or second week in January with a request to extend the services. There will be a memo to Government to ask them for an extension of the services to 2019. I'm particularly proud of the people in Abhaile and in MABs who look after people, and actually that debt cycle is changing for people. For the people that were presenting 10 years ago, 5 years ago and today are all presenting with different types of debt, and they've always equally responded. And Abhaile was a direct response to the mortgage arrears issues that we found ourselves with tens of thousands of people a number of years ago. Those numbers are reducing. 116,000 people who were in mortgage arrears have had a solution provided to them that's in line with what they can financially afford, but there still are significant numbers of people who are left and can avail, and MABs and Abhaile are freely there to help them avail of managed services. But I will say, just to put it on the record, because it is a fact, the foreign institutions that you've just referred to, who have in a lot of cases bought debt from our, what we would call our pillar banks, are far easier to deal with and are far quicker to do deals in order to secure people's debt and to keep them in their homes.
Final question.
Yeah, I take the Minister's point that she's asking Cabinet, she's going to recommend to Cabinet that they authorise the continuation of the contract till the end of 2019. But can I ask the Minister to do this immediately, because there's an element of uncertainty there, and that has resulted in a situation where mortgage advisors are not taking any new clients from the 1st of January, which is an undesirable situation. And also, my understanding is that because these people, obviously they have mortgages as well and they've got to pay their way, and some of them are looking to the private sector for employment in the private sector because of the element of uncertainty. So can I ask the Minister, would it be possible to resolve this issue this side of Christmas? I know the timeline is very close.
Chair, it isn't obviously. The last Cabinet meeting was held yesterday. But the information you're bringing to me, not only is it news to me, I can guarantee you that it's news to the regional boards of MABs that we have. We are certainly not refusing new clients, and we are certainly not putting anybody's job or contract within the Oireachtas service on risk. They are fully aware and appraised that they have a full budget for next year. What they don't have is a contract currently beyond the 15th of February, but they are fully assured that I will be bringing a memo to Cabinet and will agree an extension of that contract in the first 2 weeks of January. So there is no threat whatsoever. There's no instability in the service that's being provided, and there certainly is no lack of dedication on behalf of the people who are providing the service. So.